Welcome back, fellow London Virgins. Got another video for you guys here today, and if you saw the title and the thumbnail, which is probably why you clicked on it, well, let's just get into it. Here's the box that came in, and inside the box, wait for it, you guys are gonna love this. It's another fucking box! How fantastic. Now let's open that bitch too. Now that we're inside the box that was inside the box, let's actually get this thing open. Oh, god damn it. I think they gave it a little too much paper. Okay. Yeah, it's inside another carrier. So, that's pretty safe. Now, let's see the actual cover, which is Masters of the Universe He-Man versus Injustice/Superman. So, or at least that's just what I call it. The actual comic name is Injustice vs. Master of the Universe #1. Made by DC Comics. And if you didn't know about this crossover, you wouldn't be the only one. Let's actually reveal the grade up here, though. What is the grade on this lovely, lovely piece? It is a 9.8. I was supposed to be covering it with my thumb, but didn't do a very good job there. But yes, if you didn't know about this, you wouldn't be the only one. If you didn't know about this, well, congrats. Basic synopsis of this is it's basically the Injustice universe. Superman, Joker killed Lois Lane, or he got Superman basically to kill Lois Lane by accident, by drugging him with, I think it was Scarecrow's stuff. So Superman goes all crazy, basically becomes a dictator along with some other superheroes, alongside Wonder Woman and a couple other people, Batman along with a couple other people, also with a couple of villains, if we're being for real. Tries to kind of go against it, obviously, because Batman isn't about dictating. And in this comic, they actually go to He-Man's Earth, which it's a different Earth in somehow, and they are able to convince Prince Adam, aka He-Man, to come and actually help them with the Superman problem. And eventually, he actually ends up defeating Superman after losing his He-Man powers of the Grayskull, and actually getting Shazam's powers because Shazam died. Yeah, it's a pretty cool story. There's someone, I forget their name, who made a whole video. If you don't want to actually buy the comics and read them yourself, someone made a whole video about basically the whole story of it. Just basically dubbing it. I forget the channel's name. But yeah, this is the comic. As you can see, it isn't exactly too old, because this is the Teen Titans movie, is a Teen Titans Go movie. Advertising is actually on the back for July 27th. Only in theaters, and I think this movie came around 2018, 2019, if I'm not wrong. Could have been earlier, but if I'm not wrong, I think it was around that time that this movie came out. But yep, this is a CJC graded comic. Like I said, 9.8. Apparently it's a variant cover, which I did not know. I love graded comics, but personally I just can't spend too much on them personally. If I am going to get a graded comic, I do want it to be a 9.8. But for me personally, I can't spend more than, say, $200-300 on one. I would never be one of those people who could spend 20 or 50 grand, say, on like Spider-Man, the original one, graded. I personally just can't do that. But yeah, this is the graded comic. This is the comic, though. It's pretty cool. But, yeah. I guess let me show you guys some other He-Man stuff. Pop! This is my He-Man collection, or display as of now, until I move, which is why my room is a complete disaster. But besides that point, the pieces. Captain Grayskull is actually a vintage piece. I traded in a bunch of Funkos at a place called The Cave. It's a toy / comic shop. Well, I wouldn't say comic shop, but more like just action figure shop. And they had this alongside, actually, Snake Mountain and a couple of other Masters of the Universe figures. So I traded in a lot of Funko Pops and I didn't. I'm trying to minimize my Funko collection, and I'm just trying to get more into action figures, and this was something that I actually wanted to get back into. You have the Flock Pantor with a Skeletor on it with a custom actual wire cape on him. You have these Funko World Savage, Funko Savage World figures, which I think fit perfectly in with these, because these were based off the He-Man, inspired by the He-Man line, I guess you would say, or the Masters of the Universe line. You have the WWF Masters of the WWE, and for the most part, most of these He-Man figures are Origins, if I'm not incorrect. Again, Masters of WWE. And I think this is DC Primal World Joker's little pet. I haven't got the Joker figure to put on him yet, but I'm actually planning on buying the Batman Cave, which was inspired by the Captain Grayskull. So I'm looking forward to getting into all of that. But again, I'm looking to get into a new place and start this whole display over, or this whole room over, basically. So it may be a minute before I do that. You got a Rey Mysterio on top of here. And in case anyone's wondering how I actually, or why I'm collecting He-Man stuff, I know some people may wonder why, just considering the fact that I'm actually only 20 years old. It feels weird just saying I actually am 20 years old. Used to saying I'm younger, even though I actually am only 20. It's a weird thing. But besides that, if you were like me, you didn't necessarily grow up rich. And if you were especially like me, there was a certain TV channel that was called Cubo. And one of the many great shows that they showed was actually Masters of the Universe. So He-Man, the original He-Man. And to me, it's funny, I remember making fun of it because I was with my dad, and the little messages at the end of the show were always just something to poke fun at, and my dad always joked that She-Ra, her being over here, was just He-Man in drag. And that was just kind of a running joke with him, and as it's funny, I was really young, so for him to be joking about that with me was kind of fucked up. But yeah, I really loved the show, and personally, I just wanted to get back into things that I wanted to get back into different things and get into Jesus, I'm repeating myself, but get into things that I was actually either watched as a kid or I actually enjoyed as a child. So that's why you see She-Ra in here, like I said earlier, because that was another show they actually showed on Cubo. Cubo showed Brave Star, Jane and Dragon, Masters of the Universe, She-Ra. I forget what the Hedgehog show is, where he's like what's the word I'm looking for here? A detective. There you go. Where he's like a detective. And yeah, there was just all kinds of really, really, really cool shows that I remember on Cubo. And eventually I actually want to get a logo made of Cubo. Hopefully when I get the new place of an actual light up sign to be in my room. But just straight up, I just love... I really do just enjoy... I really did enjoy just Cubo, and I really enjoy seeing all of these on a shelf. Masters of the Universe was such a colorful. This has such colorful figures, especially when you mix in these again Masters of WWE or the Superstars line, which is where this Undertaker is from, and I just, again, it's really an enjoyable thing for me, especially since it doesn't seem as if these figures are too expensive. At least some of them aren't. Somehow this figure was $40 just because he has a little moss on him. And I know he's kind of hard to find. Luckily, my Walmart, I guess he was the last one left of Mossman. I really don't remember seeing him in the show, to be quite honest. So I'm definitely gonna get figures that I don't remember of people seeing in the show, but I'm definitely want to get figures of people I do recognize from the show as well. Funny, this Skeletor was actually from the remake. I think it was in 2003 or so that I actually watched for a little bit, even though I was born that year. But I remember buying a DVD and it was like, wasn't Revelations, but it was a different He-Man, and it was like a remake kind of. And the Skeletor is based off that Skeletor. It actually came with another head of him before he burnt his face and became like a little skull head. Came with this guy, and that's basically supposed to be like their origin figures. But obviously, he came with the Skeletor head as well. And to me, Skeletor is more iconic than the other guy. And I remember seeing the Skeletor on my TV as a kid because I bought the DVD, or more like my parents bought it for me. But you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I just really, really, really enjoy. I just really want to enjoy collecting, not just collecting, but just setting these guys up and just remembering things. I think some of the only I am missing parts for the castle and for the Snake Mountain. The only thing I'm missing there's two things I'm missing from the Snake Mountain, which are the chains. As you can see, one of them is broken off, which, it isn't the biggest deal. I'll probably end up buying them. I know they're like $20 online, which is insane. And I'm also missing the battery cover for this thing, in case you didn't know. I guess back in the days you could talk into this thing and it would like make your voice sound as if you were like talking as the actual mountain. With the captain, fucking hell, I keep trying to say captain for some apparent stupid fucking reason. With Grayskull, with the Castle Grayskull, I'm pretty much missing everything inside. I need to buy everything. But to me, I don't mind it that much. It's just kind of going to be a trip to buy everything again, and kind of an excuse to maybe even buy some custom parts that I see on Etsy sometimes that will make this thing be better. And personally, I was actually going to go with the Origins versions of these and buy them, but because I traded those things in and I got in-store credit, I figured I may as well get these and just be done with it. Not done with it, but to say I may as well get them because there wasn't a whole lot else there that I was going to want. And it is kind of cool that these are the original ones from the 80s, especially considering the fact that little kid back in the days probably fucking played with this and this one. It is kind of cool in that aspect. But yeah, I guess that does it for today's video. And I guess let's just cut it to our message. Alright, you guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. The message of today, since that's how we always end these videos on. Remember to look back on the past and to maybe get enjoyment out of it. Or maybe look back on some things that you don't necessarily like to look back on. I know sometimes it is, shitty shit happens. And unfortunately sometimes it seems like the shitty things that have happened are the hardest things to just forget. But when you look back on the past, just remember not to dwell on it. Try and live in the present. Try and look forward to the future. It's easy to look back on the past and feel sorry for ourselves and just be a super downer about things. But we can change things right now if you don't. You can change. Instead of dwelling on the past, you can use that same energy now just to change things about yourself and make your future better for it. But yeah, that's today's video. I guess we ended just like He-Man's back in the days with him giving a message. So I'll see y'all. Should be some more videos coming out soon, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this one.